I'm curious as to how much our dreams are influenced by our day to day, and how much our dreams may be trying to express something that we may not be fully conscious of. What I've noticed, the more observant I've been of my dreams, is how much they are based off of, what I might have been thinking about that day, and especially before going to bed. And also how other different random things in the day will will come together and tie into my dream. So I'll explain, because I had a just a regular dream, but I noticed there was a recurring pattern that was appearing. So yesterday I was talking with my lady, and we were just talking about going, on a nice little getaway together. Yeah, it'd be nice, something to plan for. But after that, I didn't really give it much thought. However, when I had my dream last night, it was this vacation was planned out with me and my lady, and we were both ready to go. I just had to go and pick her up so we could go to wherever. I don't even remember what the destination was. But it was like each time I was trying to make my way to pick her up, there was something I would have to do. And this isn't exactly how it went, but basically it was like, okay, I need to get my keys so that way I could drive over there. But I forgot my keys are at this person's house, right? And it's like, okay, well, this person is over there, so I got to go over there. It was just like side quest after side quest after side quest. And by the time I finally was making my way back to go pick up my lady so we can go on vacation, I like woke up. And I've noticed, especially after last night, I've noticed how much of a recurring pattern that has been. Not always the exact same way, but it's like I want to do something, but it's like I got to do 10, 12 other things before I can do this thing. And after last night and I woke up, I was, reflecting on it a little bit, and I began to ask myself, is that in some way relevant to my current life? My first thought was, is there anything that I want to do, but I'm telling myself I need to do all these things before I can do it? I would say yes, but at the present moment, it's hard to think I can accomplish something that I want to do without these other things in order. And this is all new thoughts to me, but I'm trying to see like how I can drop that and see if that's just a limiting belief that I'm holding on to. Is that something that I believe to be true that is limiting me in some way, but is not actually true? It's very hard, I think, to apply that to your day-to-day life when you're so set in your ways and the way you see the world. It can be hard to be aware of limiting beliefs that you're imposing on yourself. Well, what could be even harder is letting it go. And if I can think back on my life, I do see how that has been the case. There have been things that I have wanted to do, but would tell myself that it's basically not the right time, or that I need to get these things in order first. I think the first thing I could think of off the top of my head is jujitsu. It was something that I wanted to do for a pretty long time, actually. But I would tell myself that I didn't, in a nutshell, I didn't deserve it. I had these other things that I needed to take care of, and boxes to check off first before I could do it. And yeah, just one day I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it out. And paradoxically enough, it was by doing the thing that I thought, by doing jujitsu and just saying, F it, I'm gonna go for it. All these things that I thought I had to do previously, they just went away, and there was a newfound sense of clarity, so to speak. I did find myself in that cycle of okay, I need to do this, but man, okay, I want to do jujitsu, but before I can do jujitsu, I need to get in shape, improve my cardio. And before I can improve my cardio, I need to get my diet right. And before I get my diet right, I gotta get the right equipment. And before I can get the right equipment, I gotta save up. And you just see how I was keeping myself stuck in a way. And that's not I don't know, that's not the greatest thing to do. And I was just honestly holding myself back. And if I'm going to be fully transparent, I can see how I'm doing that currently. One thing that I've been kind of working on, but haven't fully committed to, is I want to make almost like a short film, a short movie. And I want to do it in a very expressive way. I think that's one thing I enjoy doing a lot, is expressing myself, through these videos, through other things that I create. I view that as a form of expression. And I can tell that I've been holding myself back from it because I know I know it's a big time commitment, and I have to, well, I don't have to do anything, but I've kind of subconsciously put myself in that mindset where, like, okay, like, in order to do that, you need to have this amount of free time, and in order to get this amount of free time, you gotta do this, and in order to do this, you gotta do that. And it's like I'm giving myself, it's like I'm putting like extra obstacles in front of me to overcome this thing. I bet if I'm a parking spot, you definitely gotta take advantage while you can. Is that spot open? I think it is not. Is this something I'm 100% right about? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I can see the patterns and how I've been in this pattern and cycle before. So that's definitely something to keep into consideration. So I think I'll say another example and reoccurring pattern like this that I've somewhat overcome actually ties back into the jujitsu. I used to have dreams a lot, pretty consistently throughout my life, where I would get into fights and I I would try to fight, like try to throw a punch, and every time I go to throw a punch, no matter how hard I tried, it's like my hand just turned into a pillow and I couldn't like throw it at all. And since I've done jujitsu, that dream has kind of gone away. I'll still have a dream that I get into like a fight, but it's not the same anymore. Like I now know what I'm doing, and so it was never a nightmare, but I never. It's a different outcome now. I could have the same dream, go into it the same, but the outcome is now different, and I see how that having those dreams that I couldn't fight actually translated into negative feelings in real life because that became honestly a fear of mine. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do jujitsu. But again, I put all these limiting beliefs on myself as to why I couldn't do it. And once I finally pulled the trigger, I did it, and I saw how my life improved as a result of it. And all these things that I thought I needed to do before doing so, I saw how that was just a lie. It was not the truth. So I'm going to try and follow what I've been learning and try to apply what has helped previously break that cycle with this cycle and see what comes from it. I don't know, but all I can do is try.